Smart 24, driving business.
You're most welcome to the program, and thank you very much for watching Smart 24 TV. My name is Anthony, and this is The Point. We talk policies that do influence our economy and how we can improve some of these policies and how we can actually take part in this young and growing economy and the opportunities that are there within the economy. Now, agriculture for a long time has been renowned as the backbone of Uganda, and investors all over the world have come into Uganda to invest in this very vibrant sector in Uganda over the years since independence. Of course, some of the factors that have led or contributed to this are mainly natural, including the low temperature variability of Uganda. You're looking at the fertile soils of about 2 rainy seasons in the whole year over pretty much the entire country, and of course leading to multiple crop harvests per year. But also, according to UN's report on food and agriculture that was released in 2019-2022, between 2019 and 2022, we have about 200 million people that can be fed. If at all we reach the maximum capacity of Uganda's arability, looking at the arable land around the country, and if we could utilize that, we could feed a population of over 200 million. Now, 80% of Uganda's land is arable, but 35% of that is being used currently for agriculture, including, of course, the different other agricultural activities that do happen on this land. And agriculture so far has accounted for 24.1% of the entire GDP and about 33% of export earnings in Uganda. Also, as if that is not enough, the Uganda Bureau of Statistics claims that agriculture in Uganda employs more than 70%, close to 71% of working Ugandans, the working population of Uganda. This and more show you how important our agricultural sector is, and that we should actually take a very keen eye on this sector. Now, today we are discussing the agro-economy and how we can stabilize this economy and get to benefit from it, get to leverage the opportunities that are there in the agricultural sector. And joining me today is a very special gentleman, Mr. Onen Moses, and he's from PELHAM, and he's going to tell us a little bit about PELHAM, under which of course we have the knowledge hub for organic agriculture in East Africa, CARE, and this is looking at organic agriculture. And of course he will also explain to us what that really is all about. But we are going to have a wonderful discussion. Now, if you want to be part of this discussion, you can hit us up on Twitter at Smart24TV or at Anthony Sebale and become part of the conversation. You can also get to our YouTube live stream and get in the comment section if you have any questions for our guest here or something you want us to discuss. We will be very, very glad. Mr. Onen Moses, you're very welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, my brother Anthony, and viewers. I'm glad to be part of this discussion. Allow me to register my appreciation to the management of the TV. It's my first time to this TV, and I'm really impressed and glad. I work for PELHAM Uganda, and PELHAM stands for Participatory Ecological Land Use Management. At PELHAM, I am the manager in charge of advocacy program where we discuss and we have interventions that focus on policy influencing and also influencing practice change from the state and the non-state actors, especially in the agriculture, in the lands and other sectors related to natural resource management. Participatory ecological land use management, PELHAM is an association organization that has been working in Uganda since 1995, and what we do specifically is we empower the farming communities to sustainably utilize natural resources. And if we are talking about sustainability today, or sustaining the agro-economy, it really speaks to the field we are making a contribution to. Specifically, we engage on agroecology, and when I talk about agroecology, it's where we have the knowledge hub for Eastern Africa, and this is purely around agroecology.
Is that the same as organic agriculture? Something?
It's the same.
It's the same. Okay.
Organic agriculture is a component of agroecology. I'll later on talk about that, about organic agriculture. But other than the advocacy that we do at PELHAM Uganda, we also have programs that are focused around land use, sustainable land use. And this is where we engage directly with the farming communities through our member organization. PELHAM is an association organization that has members, and these members are civil society organizations, they are NGOs, and also individual members. So these members are spread across 122 districts in Uganda. So it is through these members that we get to the farming communities, understand the plight of the farming communities, how they interact with the policy and the practice of the institutions, say at local government, but also at lower local government in relation to agro-industrialization or agriculture. Picking from there, what we also do is linking the farming communities to market information, agroecology market information. That's also what we do. So in a nutshell, I can say PELHAM has basically 3 program areas on the sustainable natural resource management, which sits in agroecology and sustainable natural resource management program. And then the second one is agroecology market and business development, and then the other one is advocacy. Now, having given that a background about PELHAM Uganda, allow me now delve into the subject of our discussion today. And you rightly stated that 80% of the land is arable, and where only 35% is being utilized. This is very true, and a lot of statistics from reports of the World Bank, of the ministry, and the United Nations all speak to these statistics, which means that it's practical that we are only utilizing 35% of our land. And later on, I think we shall reflect on the factors that are contributing to this low utilization of the land. But to start it off again, I would like to begin by discussing agriculture in terms of its contribution, especially to to the economy, its contribution in terms of employment, in terms of the money it brings to the economy, and other perspectives. You rightly stated that about 71% of the population is employed in this sector. And of the 71%, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, has done a study that has indicated that 82% of these people are between the ages of 18 to 24. Therefore, it means that most of our young people are employed within this sector. What is now the implication that the young population of the country is employed in this sector? One is that it is a pointer to the fact that since the hugest population of the young people are employed in this sector, it should be a sector that is taken seriously in terms of financing to it, but also in terms of addressing bottlenecks that may make it not function to the interest of the farmers and the young people employed in it. About the Knowledge Hub for Organic Agriculture, this is one of the programs we are hosting as PELHAM Uganda. We are hosting the hub for the Eastern Africa, which basically brings information on organic agriculture, information on the practices, information on the policies that have worked, and best practices that have been undertaken by the different farming communities. This is basically for the purpose of sharing knowledge, exchanging, and then see how we can adopt to more resilient practices that have worked elsewhere in other parts of the country. So you find that in this hub, the farmers can access information. They can also interact with each other. That linkage is provided for, but also they can write their opinion, their views on how they think that this sector should be governed and how this sector should contribute to the national development of the country. Yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you very much for that. Brief intro on the PELHAM and what you stand for. But there's something I really want to understand when it comes to ecological. You've used the term ecological farming. Is it ecological agriculture? Yes, very often, even organic agriculture. Maybe before we go into the break, if you could just break down for us what ecological agriculture or organic agriculture really is and how different it is from the agriculture we know about.
Yeah. Thank you. When you talk about ecological agriculture, first of all, the way it sounds, ecological. Ecological comes from that word ecology, which is about our surrounding in its very natural sense. God created the earth with the different components of the environment. You find we have water body, we have the air, we have land, and we have the different creatures and the different creations. Now, all these were made in such a way that each component should depend on the other.
There's interdependence.
Interdependence.
Yes.
Amidst the diversity, there is interdependence. And when we talk about ecology, it is that interaction and interdependence of all these components. Now, that That means that every other component should work to promote the existence of the other component. Where one component is working to the detriment of the other, it disorganizes that natural ecology. So when we talk about ecological farming, it purely speaks to the fact that the kind of farming practices and technologies should promote this harmonious coexistence. When we talk about seed, yes, we know that seed are natural, and when you attempt to disorganize the DNA of the seed, like in terms of modifying it genetically, then you're disorganizing the entire ecology, because this seed will be planted, it will feed from the nutrients of the soil, and there's a way that different plants relate with the soil. Yeah. So when you disorganize the DNA of these seeds and you introduce new characteristics, it means therefore that the new characteristics introduced will affect the entire chain, the plant itself, the air, and also the soil and water. So that's just one component of the seed. And when you come to the technology, we know naturally we have pests and diseases, and there are natural ways of how this can be controlled and managed. And over time, our ancestors have been using organic or natural methods of eliminating these pests and diseases or minimizing them. So currently, we have use of pesticides and other synthetic chemicals that have now been produced to deal with the issues of pests and diseases, all that. Now, these chemicals come with characteristics that most times disorganize the ecology.
Yes, we're going to kick off the discussion right there, Mr. Nen, after the short break. Mr. Nen's argument here is ecological farming probably looks into the natural means of farming and a more environmentally friendly sort of farming. But Mr. Nen, when you look at countries like Egypt, Kenya, even our neighbor here, they're adopting many of these, maybe what we can call genetically modified seeds, so that they avert some of the problems like you mentioned, pests and diseases, which are still infiltrating many of our, our products here when it comes to agriculture. So we want to discuss how we can put a balance on that and the contribution of the ecological agriculture. But also, we didn't finish on the issue of the limited usage. Why are we not using our land to full capacity? Should we anyway? And discussions concerning that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking our agricultural sector and how we can make it sustainable, what policies can be put in place. And I'm still talking to Mr. Onen Moses from PELHAM, and you're watching Smart 24 TV. We are going to take a short break and we return shortly after this commercial break. Stay with us.
Smart 24